Hey there, everyone. My name is Michael Greenwood. I just want to talk about the three pillars of a service business. So, a service business, you are offering a service. Um, in my case, B2B, so business to business. I'm offering a service to other businesses in the form of lead generation and marketing services. So, starting at the top, the three pillars, the three actual pillars of a service-based business. You've got three main kind of functions or departments, really. When you really distill it down, you can overcomplicate this until the cows come home, but essentially, you're going to market to clients, to prospects, and then you're gonna sell to those who've raised their hand. And then you're going to deliver the service that you promised, and it's as simple as that. Those three things, that's all you really need to focus on. And yeah, there's lots of other kind of nuances and things like that, but fundamentally, there's those three pillars. And I would decide if you're going more down the freelancer route. When you're gonna do a bunch of service delivery and then hopefully get most of your working through referrals, but possibly early on having to do some outbound and stuff like that, perhaps some cold calling. But then eventually your plan might be to you'd love it if you just had a load of, say you're a videographer, you could just film a few days and then edit a few days and then charge more and more because you're getting better and better and you're getting higher and higher value customers who respect your time and see the value in the service that you offer. And that's a freelancer in a nutshell. And then you've got your business owner, who's more probably wanting to do the marketing and sales side of things because they know that that's what's going to be the thing. The cash flow is the lifeblood of the business, and then they're going to know how to do the service delivery a lot of the time, but they're gonna get staff in to do that kind of thing. So I think early on it's good to kind of have a vision and understand your why and understand why you're doing the thing, why you're doing the business, and usually it's more money, financial independence, having enough money not to worry anymore. And then also you can time is our most precious commodity, so having more time as well, and then possibly you might want to go travelling, or you might want to be a bit more location independent. So the digital nomad movement, with the travelling different places, working, possibly arbitraging by working in, doing work for clients in countries like America, UK, and things like that, but living in another country that's less expensive to live in. So doing like a geographical arbitrage, where they're charging to a country potentially with more money, and then living in a cheaper country. When it comes down to it, in terms of having the vision for the business, it's a good idea to decide what you're going to do, to get to the next level, to level up, and what kind of things you're going to need to do, and to put a plan in place, usually called a business plan, which is usually a living document. And I know a lot of business owners will do one when they first start a business, but then they'll kind of stick it in a drawer, or it'll get lost on an hard drive or in the cloud somewhere or whatever. But it's a good idea to actually plan down on paper. You get that planning muscle going, because not wanting to sound all cheesy, but genuinely, if you fail to plan, you do plan to fail. And actually planning what you're going to do the next day, today, that's one of the kind of key principles of business, really, to actually get your planning muscle going. So plan 18 months in advance, work backwards from there. What's your goals? What's your plan to actually hit those targets, and then what are the activity levels that will make it unreasonable to not get the results. So yeah, marketing, sales, service delivery, the three pillars of a service business. Giving the example of a videographer. So a videographer can be a freelancer or business owner. That's the way that I look at it anyway. So a freelancer, they would, as a videographer, they'd be doing videos a lot of the time. They'll be doing the editing, and then they'll be getting work in, and they'll have peaks and troughs a lot of the time because maybe they don't have that that steady pipeline going on in terms of sales. Moving people through that pipeline to get the business in. So they might find that they're getting their head down into lots of work, into lots of service delivery work on this. So that might be editing and video content creation, but then they forget to do the marketing and sales, and they think, I'm going to have to get some clients in now because just lost this big client and stuff like that. So I hear that quite a lot. And then you've got your business owner who's really thinking, I don't want to generalise too much, but thinking that they really want to work more on the business than in the business. But what does that actually mean? I mean, all of these kind of activities can be working in the business, but if you're creating an SOP to like a blueprint to better execute your marketing, that's surely a working on the business task, and then there'll be some implementation in that. So you've got to think in terms of strategically, tactically, and then operationally, and then take it from there. But in terms of the plan of scaling a business, in my opinion, marketing and sales should be the very last things that you as a business owner would stop doing. So they'd be the last things that you'd get a member of staff to do it. Last thing that you'd hire for, really. The first thing, in my opinion, to hire for is probably the opposite of what a freelancer would think of hiring for, because they love doing the work. But at the end of the day, if you take a step back and you think, if I'm doing the work, then I can't speak to as many clients. Nobody at this stage, if you're early on in the business, can speak about my company with as much passion and belief and conviction as I can. So I need to do the marketing, I need to do the closing, do the sales and the nurturing, to close the sales. So when you think about it like that, it's almost like if you don't have the business owner mindset, and it's not really a freelancer versus business owner kind of video. I think both are perfectly fine ways of doing things. It's just down to the person and what they want to do. But from a business owner perspective, I think the best thing to hire for first in terms of staff, employees, would be the service delivery. And I would literally do a time audit. So I would just write down what you're doing every hour, or every half hour, every 15 minutes even, for a few weeks, and just say, what I've just been doing. I've planned tomorrow today. Have I actually done that? And hold yourself accountable. And actually, it's personal leadership at the end of the day. It's taking responsibility and accountability for your actions, and understanding that every decision that we make has an effect. We are actually the sum of the decisions that we make, and it's important to have what they call in psychology, it's called having a locus of control. And people who have got an internal locus of control tend to find that if it's an internal locus of control, they take personal responsibility, and they believe that they're in control, of the world around them, and they curate their own reality. But then people with external locus of control, they can have almost like a victim mentality. They feel that things have been done to them, and they've got less control or no control, and they almost like if something goes wrong, they'll want to blame others or situations or whatever, to ease their their discomfort with the fact that they've something's gone wrong. But in reality, a lot of the time it'll be a decision that that they've made or not made, basically. So everything's a decision. We'll write that down. Everything's a decision, like that. So I think it's better to have an internal lux control. That wins for me, taking personal responsibility. And in doing the time audit, if we find that we're doing a task which is kind of below, like low leverage, for example, something where we're not using other people's time, to get ahead, or it might be something where we're doing a repetitive task, which we could actually create an automation like a Zapier around it, like a Zap, or it could actually be something that's a complete waste of time. So what is a good idea is to actually, in the time audit, I'll just move the time audit down here actually, so I'll move the time audit like that. The time audit, you can actually identify some tasks that you can just actually stop doing. So that's actually a waste of time. Maybe you're just doing them because you've always done them. Maybe your programming, your subconscious is you're doing it because you're in your comfort zone with it. This is all about growth and coming outside your comfort zone, and exposing yourself to discomfort, to grow. So time audit, you could identify things that you need to stop doing because they're just a waste of time, or just not really doing anything to help you towards your goals. So you can eliminate them. So eliminate, like that. And then you might find some things that, like repetitive tasks that you're doing again and again. Like, for example, I was going into Xero, which is a bit like QuickBooks, Xero for use for the accounts and bookkeeping. And I would just like creating an invoice for a client every month and just going in and creating one for each client. But you can actually set up recurring invoices. And for a while, for an embarrassing amount of time, I was actually just going in and creating these invoices when I always knew that I could have set up the recurring. So one day I just sat down and I thought, right, I'm going to learn how to do this. And then I just kind of learned how to do it and set them all up. And I don't know how long it took. It maybe took about an hour. So 1 hour saved me all that time to actually sit down and log in and get into the task and remember to do it, or diarise to do it, put it in the diary. It's just set up now. And then when a new client joins, I'll set up a recurring invoice. If a client churns, leaves, then I'll delete it, delete the recurring. So it's quite good. So yeah, I automated that process, and you can see, so I automated that with Xero, accounting software, just the creation of invoices, which, when I think back at it, a lot of time was wasted, a lot of energy in not doing that sooner. But at least I did it when I did it. I didn't let it keep going on and on with that inefficiency. You can also, for example, Zapier, that's great for automating as well. So create Zaps for whatever you can. If you don't know how to use Zapier, just go on YouTube, just watch a few videos on it. And yeah, so that's another example. I should really be on that line Sunday. So Xero example that I gave you, and then create Zaps, which is sort of Zapier. And then if something can't really be automated, so you eliminate it if it's just something that doesn't really matter, and with the resources you've got, something else trumps it, so you eliminate it. If it is something that matters, then if you can, you automate it, and if not, if you can't automate it, then you delegate it. So you delegate it, and then you've got to consider that if you skip a step in this, for example, if you just start delegating things, so if you do your time audit and then you just delegate everything, then actually you'll be paying people, whether the staff, freelancers, whatever, to do something that should have been eliminated. So it's a waste of time. So you just almost like scaling or replicating inefficiencies, or it's something that you could have automated. So you could have literally gone on Zapier, learned how to do it for an hour, and then, or like me, I could have gone onto Xero, delegated it to somebody, paid them every time to create an invoice. When actually Xero I can just do it in an hour, and then every time there's a new client, do it in a minute or whatever. So, what's the point in delegating? When you can automate, or even if it doesn't need doing, you can just eliminate it. So delegating is almost like the last resort, really, and that's when you start to grow your team. So you, as a business owner, would then start to think about things in terms of, is that worth my time? And when you're looking at, for example, taking a sales call, so for a start, assuming that your marketing is not just scattergun, where you're trying to be everything to everybody, assuming that you've got an offer and it's your niche to some kind of extent, you can help because you've helped similar prospects in the past, so pretty much after doing some discovery with them and asking them a bunch of questions such as what's the gap, where are they now, where do they want to be, what's the dream outcome, and all that kind of thing, and then finding out about them and what the growth plan is and stuff like that. I'm taking this from offering a marketing service perspective, but you might be doing video marketing, or you might be doing graphic design, you might be creating logos and things like that. You can have these kind of conversations. I think it might be a bit more difficult with some kind of businesses in the creative sphere where it can be seen as more like a commoditized service. For example, logo design to an extent has become something that's become a bit commoditized. If you're a logo designer, you're not careful how you go about offering it and packaging it, because that can be a bit of a race to the bottom. Things like web design as well. You can get clients who might not be educated buyers, and they don't really know the difference between what a 200 quid website is or a 20 grand website is, and they just can't see the difference. They both might look even similar, and they just don't understand that one of them is likely going to be not very good, and the other one is likely to be the potential to be a money making machine. So it's important to have a conversation with your clients when you're doing your marketing, and actually target your marketing. And then when they're actually jumping on a sales call with you, that could be a Zoom call, face to face, phone call, whatever. It's important that you're not having your time wasted. And you are actually going through a set, structured discovery call and being in control of that and speaking with conviction as well, that you've got qualified people in front of you. So I'll give you a typical example. Let's say you are marketing by doing something like telemarketing. You can ask them a bunch of questions, and then if they agree to a call, then and it might take a few touch points as well. You might have got back past the gatekeeper, and then you speak to the decision maker, you get them onto a call, you make sure that all the other decision makers are on the call as well, anybody else who needs to be on there, Mr. or Mrs. decision maker, and then you maybe ask them to do a questionnaire as well before the call, or watch a video before the call and check that they've done it, and just make sure that you're getting these micro commitments and this buy-in for the call, so you're not wasting your time. And you also make sure that they've got some kind of budget, and you've qualified them in that way as well, that the affordability is there, it's something that's actually causing them pain, in the business. The revenue might not be where it should be. They've got payroll to meet, maybe they've had a new competitor who started to take market share, so they need to take some action. Maybe they've got a few competitors who ramped up the Google ads, and it's taking a lot of their gross profits away, or whatever. So various reasons, but the point I'm coming to is protect your time. What you can start to do is there's a few methods of protecting your time, but I tend to find that initially when you're starting up in a business, you want to put your details all over the place, so hand out business cards and things like that. But then you usually end up then later on having like a second phone, because you've given like your main phone number out at all these networking events, or maybe in your email footer and stuff like that. People got hold of your mobile number, and then you're getting all these calls, and then maybe somebody's sold your number on a list or something like that. So you end up getting a second phone. You start to insulate yourself more. Maybe you start to get an assistant who can start to filter through your emails and not let people get through and become your gatekeeper. So there's various things that you can do to protect your time, but one of them most certainly, and to protect your headspace as well, so you've got your thinking time, because a lot of business goes on in your head in terms of making decisions. It all comes down to decisions, and making decisions which are wise. But I believe that there's only so many good decisions that you can make in a day until your energy depletes, and then you can start making bad decisions, which you can get into dangerous territory with that. So one of the ways that you can keep your energy, is I always think of the film The Fly, the Jeff Goldblum version. Actually, I think that's the second. I think there's two. I think there's an old one from the 50s, black and white, and then there's the Jeff Goldblum. It might be a third, I'm not sure. But he references Einstein, where is wearing the same jacket and suit and all that kind of thing, same shirt even every day. So it's one less decision. I think Steve Jobs used to do that as well. Wear the same jeans and all that kind of stuff. Not necessarily not the same jeans, but a pair of jeans, kind of thing. And he'd just go into the wardrobe or the cupboard and just get out, and that was one less decision to make. So less cognitive load. But yeah, one of the ways that you can maintain your energy and your thinking power, I suppose, is to start to outsource the things. So literally in the time audit, this time audit's really powerful. It's identifying the things that you're doing. Like I said, I'll repeat myself with the eliminating the things that are just a waste of time. A lot of it's just mindless scrolling stuff where you're just like getting distracted and stuff like that. So eliminate that, get yourself accountable. I've got this one from Amazon, which is you set a timer. So I'll kind of set this to 90 minutes. I'll do a work block, and then I'll have 15 minutes break, and then I'll do another work block. So I'll set it to kind of 90 minutes. That's 90 minutes and 50 seconds. Give myself a bit more like that. I'll set it, and then I'm just working like that. I'm just working, in a work block. 15-minute break, then another 90 minutes. And then if you do that every day, you've got more work done than the majority of people probably get done in a day. Because I've seen how a lot of people work. They sit down at the desk at 9 a.m. and then 2 minutes in, they're on Facebook scrolling, and they're getting the dopamine, that kind of thing. And then they'll go and they'll have a chat with a work colleague. Then they'll go and make a coffee. And the thing is, every time you get distracted and aren't focusing, you've got less chance of getting into flow and getting into that deep work. And I think the analogy is, imagine being like a bird. I can't remember where I've got this from. It might be Deep Work actually, but so you're flying across the ocean. And you're just kind of dipping in and getting the little minnows, the little fish. And that's how the majority of people actually work, where they're just like in really shallow work. Like the shallow, they're not really going into the depths, but if you get into deep work, that's where you're diving and you're getting the big fish. And you know you're focusing on one thing, and really one hard thing, your Daily Frog. So this is one of my favourites, the Daily Frog, Brian Tracy. It's about focusing on that big task early on, which is going to move the needle. So move the needle in business, which is that big thing that moves you towards the goal. So I'll talk a bit about kind of goal setting as well, just to finish off this video. But the way I see it is you set goals, and then you have a plan of action, and then you have activities or activity levels. And that's it really. So let's say you want to set you want to get something done. So you want to start a course, or you want to start a business, or you want to new product launch, new service offer. Perhaps you're going to start offering. Perhaps you're a marketing agency. You don't really do much cold email, outreach marketing, and you want to start that. And you want to start that for your own business. To get proof of concept, because you've never really done it, but then you want to start to offer that as a service to clients on a B2B basis as well. So you could have a goal of launch cold email marketing service in 18 months, and then so that's your goal. And you could be a bit more specific about that, and you could even say to generate another 20k per month, however. And then you could break that down as well into each client pays 1k per month. So you need 20 clients to hit this goal, so you can really drill down. So basically, by doing that, or in order to achieve that goal, you need to have a plan. And generally, with plans, you want to work backwards, a bit like when you're planning a journey in your vehicle. So you want to plan, and you say, right, when have I got to do this by 18 months? And then you start to plan the activity levels as well, and you just start to do the activity levels. So the plan could be right. So you're going to have to learn cold email marketing, and then package it, and then you've got existing clients, or you do web design for video content or whatever, SEO. So you're going to sell it to them. So sell to existing clients. You're going to get some case studies, and you're going to market it. So how are you going to market it? Let's say, well, we've got some KPIs here. So you need to get 20 clients. Yeah. And so you're going to launch it in 18 months. You want to get 20 clients by when, actually? So 20k per month by so 12 months afterwards. 12 months after launch. So you want to have that. So then you start to plan this. So what do you need to do to launch? Can you do these things concurrently? Have you got a team who can learn the thing while another team does the marketing? So if you've got different departments, that's one thing. What kind of SOPs do you need to put together? And how are you going to do your market research and see if there's even product market fit, and do your competitor research to work out your marketing as well. essentially, that's quite detailed, but to just bring it up to eye level, I would say to get 20 clients at 1K, you let's say you've got you're going for something really pessimistic, like I don't know, you're going to outreach to 1,000 people and get one client. That means you're going to be outreaching to 20,000 people. That's super pessimistic, to just get that. Or you could go like a lot of business owners do, and you could go like super pessimistic and just say, "Oh, I'm going to do 100," and then I didn't get any, so I'm just going to stop, and that's another way of doing it. But I wouldn't suggest that. I would suggest taking doing outrageous levels of activity to make it unreasonable to not hit your goals. So let's say you're going to do that. You're going to outreach to 20k people. You're going to follow up as well, and you're going to have multiple touch points in order to reach that goal, to get those touch points. And also in terms of you're probably going to have some drop-offs as well. So you might have to get 22 clients or 25 clients, or or you might have the compound effect where as you get the first 3 clients, you get some case studies behind you, then it starts to ramp up and all that kind of thing. So yeah, that's super pessimistic, but maybe you can do it with outreach to 5,000 as a bit of a range with that. So, but yeah, I would say good bit of advice would be to underestimate, to never underestimate the amount of effort that you probably need to do to reach your goals, and then you can only be pleasantly surprised if you reach your goals sooner. So the activity levels, you can then break that down really. So you can say, look, so by 18 months I want to have launched the thing, and then maybe you can do that sooner, and then 12 months after that I want to have got the 20 clients. So you can say, right, whilst we're learning the thing and implementing it in our own business, to make sure that we've got some results, at least for ourselves, then we can in the meantime do like a lead up to launch. So we can say we've got a new we can start to contact our existing clients and say, we've got this great new service coming out, Mr. or Mrs. Decision maker, are you interested? Would you want to go in for a trial for a bit, or give us 3 or 4 months and we can implement it into your business? By the way, here's the results that we've been getting for our business. So yeah, activity levels. You're working backwards basically from the goal, and it could look something like I don't know, month 1, outreach to 1,000 people, and then month 2, etc. Outreach to 1,000 people and follow up with last month's 1,000 people, like that. Yeah, and you probably need to get your data beforehand then. So get your data, cleanse your data, enrich your data, and all that kind of thing, and yeah. So yeah, no, we aren't going into too much detail. That's kind of an example of having a goal, doing a plan, doing activity levels. So enrich data, yeah, like that. So in a nutshell, the three pillars of a service business are marketing, sales, and service delivery. And each one is important. All important components is arguable. I would argue that these are the only three things that you really need to worry about, especially early on. Really gets a bit more complicated later, but initially it's nice to keep nice and lean and just think about things in this kind of way. So marketing, that's getting eyeballs on your business, getting attention. Sales, that's actually getting them on a call and nurturing and closing them. And then service delivery, that's doing the thing that you said you were going to do for the money. So yeah, that's all I've got for you right now. And take care and see you next time.